book lovers, Lori here. I'm back for another day of BookMas. I am not sure the number of this video because I changed my filming plans midway through BookMas to kind of add some more topics, but the topic this video is going to be the book series I hope to complete in 2021. I always try to do this every single year and I always fail miserably. So when you guys watch my goals for 2020 video, you guys will see I'm changing how I do these lists. So I'm going to make myself a shorter list of books to accomplish, and then when I complete those little lists, I will give myself like a prize. Depending on what it is, I'll buy myself something, I'll do something, and I'll kind of talk about that in the goals video, because it's going to kind of be a little bit of a reward or a punishment, I'm going to say. And I got this idea from Starla Reads. I'm going to kind of do something a little bit similar. But I just want to talk through the 10 series that I'm going to start the year trying to complete. And I'm hopeful that this will be a little bit more successful. So the first series I really do want to complete is the Circle Open series by Tamora Pierce. This is the companion series to her first series. It's like the second part series, and I heard this series is not everyone's favorite, but I did like the first series that she wrote. I also love her Tortellverse, but this follows Briar, Trish, I can never say her name. I think it's Daja, and I can't remember the other girl's name, but there's like 4 people. They're all magic. They have different types of magic. And the first series, they're kind of working together to be a quartet. And the second series, they kind of have their own subsequent series. And then they kind of all get back together for the last book in the series. So this is a series I've had on my mind for a while to try to complete. And I'm just hopeful that I'll be able to get around to it. The books are super short. I wasn't the biggest fan of the first one, but my favorite characters' books are kind of upcoming. So hopefully I'll get around to this one and then I can like complete the series and check it off my list. The next series has been one that I have had on my TBR for so long. I bought the first book in this series when Borders was still around, which should tell you how long I've had this book series on my list. So much so that another complete series has came out, and that's the Seven Realms series by Cinda Williams Chima. I adored her Wizard Air series, or the Air Chronicles, that she wrote a while ago. I love that series, and I actually did a reread last year, and I just never got around to reading it. I have all the books. I even have the books for the second series as well, so just hopeful this will motivate me. And I heard that, I know Reagan from Peruse Projects loved this series, and I like it too. It definitely, this was like obviously before Game of Thrones, but it really, I mean, obviously because it came out like so many years ago, but it does scream Game of Thrones to me. Like there's warring kingdoms and a lot of stuff is happening. And I remember I started to read The Demon King right when I was reading Fallen Kingdoms by Morgan Rhodes, and they just seemed too similar to me, so I put down Demon King, which I should have probably kept reading. But again, it's on this list. I'm going to make it a goal, and that's my focus. So. And then the next book series that I really hope to tackle in 2021 is the Shadow of the Fox series by Julie Kagawa. This is actually the series that I'm in the middle of reading for the Time Warp YA Book Club, but I put it off and started in the new year. But I did read the first book and I really enjoyed it, and then I just never got around to like reading the second and reading the third book. But I do definitely want to keep reading it, and I think I have the audiobook for Shadow of the Fox, so I actually might reread that in September so I can January, so I can read on. But this is a series that reminded me a lot of anime, or what I would imagine anime to be. So I really hope that I can tackle this short trilogy in 2021. And then the next series that I'm going to chat through is a Rick Riordan Presents series, and that's the Stormrunner series. I actually read book 1 a couple of years ago, and I just never got around to finishing the series, so I have to read book 2 and 3 for this series. So here's a picture of book 2. I really liked this series when I first read it. The book 1 was very, very surprising. I remember I was reading book 1 during my production of Willy Wonka, so I read it quite a bit ago, but I still really like the characters. I thought it had interesting like disability rep, and I like the mythology that we focused on. And at this point, I think that there's 4 books out, so I definitely want to read the last 2 in that series. Oh, also, I want to add Arusha to this list, so it's like 11 because I still need to finish that series too. So I'm just gonna kind of toss that here, Arusha. This is another Rick Riordan Present series. I actually was able to read 2 books this year, so I have 2 more to go, and the 4th book is coming out in April. So I'm actually on track to finish this, but I just need to get around to listening to the audiobooks. So, but yeah, another series that I hope to tackle. So now my list is up to 11. Still hopefully doable. And then the next series we're going to talk about is the Bridgerton series by Julia Quinn. This is largely based on Alexa Loves Books and Peace Love Books, which has got me into reading more Regency romances. And I just fell into the Bridgerton series like a couple of weeks ago, but the TV series is coming out on Netflix. And I really liked book 1. It had some interesting consent issues, which I'm not sure how I felt about after reading it. But I like the characters a lot. And it's not the consent issues you would think would be the issue. So interesting read. There's like 9 books in this series, so I will take me some time to complete it, but I think it's doable to finish in 2021. And I definitely do want to watch the series, but I'll probably wind up watching the series first and then going back and reading the books, because then I'll watch the series at like the end of 2021 and it will have lost its appeal. So, but definitely want to finish it at some point in 2021. And then the next book series that we're going to talk about is another Regency romance series, and that's the Wallflower series by Lisa Kleypas. Here's a picture of book 2. This was the first ever Regency romance series that I read, and it follows these 4 books, and they're kind of companion books. They're all kind of connected. I liked Cold Hearted Rake a lot, and I just hope that I like the other ones as well. But it's a shorter series, and I just hope that I'm able to get around to reading it, because I heard great things from Alexa Love Books, and I hope that I enjoy it as much as I like the first book in the series. I'll definitely keep you guys updated. And the next series that we are going to chat about is the Queen Poisoner series by Jeff Wheeler. This is the first adult series that has made my list this year, because I'm trying to get better at reading adult series, but I don't want to overwhelm myself like I did in November, and I read like so many adult books back to back. But this is like a really easy to get into series. I really liked book 1. I started reading book 2 and I just got a little bit distracted, so I'm hopeful that if I'll be able to read it and kind of just keep going. That's my plan anyway, but I definitely hope that I'm able to complete the series. The spin-off's coming out soon. I think they said September 2021 last time I checked. But dates keep getting moved like everything else in this world, so it might get pushed again, but that's when it was coming out. So I would like to read the first series before the second series come out. And I think Jeff Wheeler's writing is super approachable. And yeah, that's another series that I hope to tackle in 2021. This is a series that I'm definitely going to have to do a reread of, and that's the Roar series by Cora Carmack. Here's a picture of book 1. I read this series like 2 years ago when it first came out, and then Cora Carmack had a lot of health issues, so she had to take like a year off, and I definitely have to reread book 1 before I read book 2 because it's been so long. But I like the magic system. It was like a romance-heavy YA fantasy novel series. I thought the storm magic was so interesting, and I really liked it. And then book 2 came out, and I just never got around to reading it. And it's like a shorter series. There's only 2 books out, so definitely doable that I can finish it. And that's why it's on this list. There are quite a few of older YA trilogies that I just never got around to reading. So the one that I'm going to focus the first half of the year on is the Graceling series by Christian Kishore. Here's the first book. I really read this series, but I actually have an arc of the 4th book, so I figured I would kind of get there eventually. There's also quite a other few of these that I do want to read, but I'm just going to kind of limit my focus and kind of pick one from each genre. And that's why I chose this one for YA fantasy. The other ones are all in like different realms. I have like two other YA fantasy ones, but these are definitely older, and I just want to like kind of go back and see what those books were like, because it's been a while since I read older fantasy, and a lot of these books are getting spin-offs and companion books, and I just want to be able to be in the same realm as them. And there's actually quite a few older YA series that I never read, and if you guys are interested in me making a video about that, comment below and I'll try to add it to my doc for 2021. But yeah, that's another series I really want to read. And the last book series I'm going to talk about in this series is actually the only middle grade series on this list, and that is the Unwanted series by Lisa Mcmahon. Here's a picture. This is a much longer young middle grade series. I read book one. I liked it. I actually have a couple of books in the series on my TBR, so I'm hopeful that I can get around to this and then read the sequel series. But again, my whole goal with this was trying to like make 11 series that I want to focus on in the first half of the year, and then kind of reassess this and kind of add some more. But I feel like if it's in this format on my book series tracker, I will have more success than I had this past year. So I really like the setup. I hope you guys like it. If you can think of any other series that you're going to try to focus on, comment below and maybe we can kind of encourage each other. I'm definitely going to do some reading vlogs, kind of focus on these series in 2021. But let me know what are some series you hope you can finish in 2021, and I'll talk to you guys later for another video. Bye.